Hi, I'm Niels Monsieurs. I am a partner at Palet.
I'd like to welcome our next guest, Niels Monsieurs from Palet. I'd love for you to share with us this incredible story about this brand, Palet, that you were instrumental in building, as well as a little bit about yourself. How did you get here today? Share it with us.
I don't think I'm the obvious person to work in the interior industry. I've worked most of my time actually in tech and in advertising, so definitely a long shot from where I am today. But I've been lucky enough to have been working alongside creatives that tend to come up with really crazy and innovative things of designing. And one of those was an attempt to make our own tiles. And we did that by building a machine that allowed us to glaze tiles. The hardware and the software were homegrown, if you will. And once we've done that, it became this, I guess, this project that we wanted to explore upon. So I left a cushy tech job in LA, moved back to the Netherlands, where I'm originally from, to join these two partners. And ever since we've been scaling the company, and it really went from a very singular printer that prints lines on tiles in any color glaze that you might want into now a bit of a business model that we're scaling from. I think the early days was like doing a couple of residential projects to now working all the way up to hotels.
And share with us a little bit about the products that Palet sells. And in context, you're one of our premier brands in Europe on Material Bank Europe, but share with us the products that you actually sell to this incredible audience of architects and designers.
So we only sell one product, but it comes with an almost limitless amount of variations, and it's a ceramic tile that we glaze. So we have our own tile in one format used for interior applications. And what we basically say to our clients is, look, we've created all these patterns, and we can glaze them in any color you want. So you can pick two. And then starting 1 square meter, we produce however many you need. And it sometimes that means that there's one design and it's being used for like I don't know, kitchen backsplash in a house. Sometimes they're entire rooms that are being done with four different glazes and patterns emerge. It's almost like a Lego for interior designers at this point. So simple product, but in terms of visual impact, the sky's the limit, literally.
And I want to learn a little bit about how you go about selling this product. Were you selling this product prior to being on Material Bank? And how did you learn about Material Bank?
Yeah, it's a funny story. I think again, not being from this industry, we were taking kind of like the odd way. So we really started talking about a lot of the work that we're doing through our own socials. So on Instagram, I think we got quite a following of just design enthusiasts, really, who are like, this is really cool what you're doing. And it grew into a bit of an interior design thing where we had a couple of designers that we really admired come to us and say, like, would love to use this product in a project. And one of those designers, Uchronia, which is a designer from Paris, basically told us, look, I see that you're just really trying to do this through your own channels, but there's platforms built for this that can help you reach a much bigger audience much faster. And again, coming from us not even having a sales organization, we were like, okay, this might be the partner to have at this point. So we started our conversations, and it's been, I mean, it's been not even a year, but for us, in terms of how the company has changed ever since, it's a whole new chapter for Palette.
Thank you so much for those kind words. Tell us how we changed your business. As Material Bank Europe, how have we impacted your business?
When this partnership started, what we saw was that there was very much an equal playing field on the Material Bank platform. So we were able to showcase our product alongside that of every other product that the designers were looking at. And it gave us really an opportunity to talk a bit about the uniqueness of what we're offering.
Amazing, Niels. I mean, you basically took a business, you started from a concept, no sales team. You started to notice that you were getting architects and designers interested from social. One of our material bank architects basically said to you, "You got to try this material bank." You came on, and now you're getting leads on a daily basis. You're getting lots of activity. Tell me about some of the success stories as well as the type of projects that these successes are coming from. Are they residential? Are they commercial? Are they hospitality? Love to get both the name of a few of these projects as well as the type.
But the majority of the requests that we're getting are residential and commercial. So we saw that pick up really quickly with Material Bank. We already closed a couple of deals, like just in the first couple of months of being on the platform. And that
Wow.
for us was a very good signal because, and maybe that speaks to smaller businesses exploring this, is that it's often pay to play and then you don't want to make that investment upfront. For us, we knew like, okay, we only have to pay per lead. Let's go and try this out. Hopefully we know in 6 months that we get some positive signals. If we don't, we can, think about alternative solutions. But that for us really was like kind of like this point of, okay, this is gonna work out. We're gonna do this for the long term. We're gonna continue investing in it. And I think the other point which really spoke to, I think, the value of the relationship wasn't just about the leads for us. It was the fact that that same designer that introduced us to Material Bank is also a designer that we continued working with. So we've done like, I don't know, I think 5, 6 projects at this point, but we also looked at special projects that we could do together. So very recently, we saw each other in Paris at Paris Design Week. We did this huge installation with Material Bank, obviously being
That's
a
right.
really big partner of. And it's one of those moments where we're like, we would never be able to pull this off if it wasn't for partners like that. And I guess that again, like the long tail goodwill that comes from those events for us has immense value because now we become this brand that people talk about, which a year ago no one knew about.
Very kind of you, Niels. But we refer to our brands as brand partners, and so we don't work as vendors. Our job is to give you a massive advantage versus brands that are not on Material Bank. And what you're describing is the marketing exposure that we are bringing to you continuously. And that installation that was it's in the 8th district, just right by the Concorde. It has been magnificent inside of Paris to see that. Many times I've gone by the exhibit myself, and it continued to get lots of attraction from companies who are discovering not just Material Bank, but more importantly, Palet.
Look, the leads that we see, we can kind of like correlate it, right? I'm looking at the data every week to see what comes in. Maybe going back to your question, what type of leads are coming in. This is one of those events that for us unlocks bigger scale projects because it was quite a big scale event where folks are kind of like going from, all right, I saw them as being this great residential partner. Maybe we can go into bigger commercial projects with them as well if they can pull this off. So for us, it's like this. It's a moment for us to prove ourselves, and I kind of like you kind of feel vulnerable because you're doing that at a very big stage, and you know that it's not just people seeing your work; it's also the industry really seeing it. But for us, that was again, it was one of those risks, I guess, that we had to take in order to prove ourselves.
You know what's amazing with you is that you did not come from this industry. You came in, you're building a business, you're doing off of the backbone of Material Bank Europe. I'm really curious because you're very data driven. It's very clear coming from the tech world. Uh, how long did it take for ROI to be proven out for you, where you said this is a good investment and this is the right path that we should be going down? How long would you say that took for you guys?
3 months for, I guess, getting the first signals, but 6 months before we knew that this is the way to go. There's a business model that we have that can scale with us, not just from a point of like having really, really, really large access to the type of clients we're wishing to work for, but also that the costs are very manageable in that phase we're in right now. Because every euro that we do not spend on the sales organization at this point, we invest in R&D because we're constantly redeveloping our own production pipeline. For us was just like, okay, this is it. This is our entire sales organization, and it's going to work.
Now, I want to make sure that the community of architects and designers who don't know about you, they can obviously come to materialbank.eu in Europe. They can go to the brands tab and search under Palet, but they can also come directly to your website. Why don't you share with us what your website is, as well as what they should take a look at on that site when they get there?
So our website is palet.shop. And it's a very simple website, but it is definitely focused on that keeping it simple mantra. Essentially, you go in there and you're just able within 3 clicks to design your tile. And since we have one product, you'd be like, okay, that's a quick exercise. But I can tell you from all the folks that we've seen trying it, it's a whole creative exercise where you just like see all the glaze combinations and the patterns. It's wild what you can do with it. And for us as a brand, we're just really looking to empower color. It's really our unique selling point, really combining glazes and giving that power back to the designers and just saying like, you know what, you can make this anything you want through color with this system I think is a great value prop. And that for us is really what that website is built around, right? Like let that imagination go, and any vision that you have.
Now, here inside of Europe, we have other platforms that are available. I'd love for you to share what you've learned and how does Material Bank compare in your assessment versus any of the other platforms where discovery of materials can be made.
I mean, the biggest thing for us as a brand is the pay to play component. And it's not just about paying upfront to be on their platform. It's also if you want to be visible and on par with the brands that you're competing with that might be a bit more established and have sizable marketing budgets, you'll have to dig very deep as a young starting brand. So for us, again, it's like we just want to be able to be judged based on the product promise. And for us to be able to do that, we just need a platform that actually chooses these brands and be like, hey, we like you. We'll make sure that you get that visibility rather than first having to, get that marketing budget in order. So I definitely think there's a role to play for it. But for brands like us, it's just it's a no brainer to work with Material Bank.
Thank you. And your assessment, you looked at other marketplaces. Your assessment was that Material Bank was the only choice for you that worked. I'm trying to get a gauge, an honest version of how you rank us versus all of the other paths in Europe.
Yeah, it was the only one that worked. I mean, again, like there's certain things we want to run a lot of tests, and I think that's how we learn, especially if you don't know the industry as well as we. Like in our case, where we're doing a lot of things for the first time. You'll learn by testing, but it is about making an informed test as well. So in those cases, we definitely just looked at, okay, what is the minimal investment that we need to make for us to have a chance on this platform to be successful? And if that's outside of our budget, then it's off the table. And that conversation was never a thing with Material Bank. We basically said, if we do get these quality leads, it is worth the investments. Plus, very early on, it became this thing where, and it's not just being in Paris Design Week together, is this thing of Material Bank constantly coming in and saying, "Look, we can help you do this better, we can help you do that better," and that had a lot to do with how we presented ourselves on the platform, but also how we promote around it, right? And like creating materials. Again, we're talking here to like a startup interior design brand that doesn't even have a sales organization. We really rely on the partners in order to make these things happen. And for us, that's just the perfect package.
Niels, on behalf of the team at Material Bank, I want to thank you. I've become a huge fan, not only in seeing your amazing exhibit, hearing about this inspirational story of how you started the business, but the impact that we're having. We are truly here as partners to help you for many years to come. Thank you.